often ask me, Rowie, how do you stay young and fit and strong and lean for the rest of your life? And surely that's what everybody wants, isn't it? As an exercise professional, I started at 13 teaching group exercise classes, started managing health clubs when I was 18, and I've been doing this all of my life. And it's the number one thing that people say, how do I stay lean, of course, or how do I lose weight, or how do I have a great body? But as you get older, it's about how do I stay fit, how do I stay strong, how do I stay energetic, how do I get the results that I want for the rest of my life? Simple, easy answer. Here's what you don't do. The number one thing out of everything, the number one thing is you don't let your muscles waste away. You want to hang on to, you want to keep every tiny ounce, gram, milligram of muscle that you've got. Because if you lose muscle, everything else changes. So if you want to be fit, you've got to get puffed. So those 10-second injections of high intense activity, they're the ones that keep you fit. They're the ones that change your respiratory quotient so that you can be a fat burner for the rest of your life. But you can't punch hard, you can't jump high, you can't sprint, you can't go fast if you've got weak muscles. So if you want to be fit, you have to be strong. If your muscles waste away, your metabolism wastes away, so that as you get older, everything you eat doesn't get burnt up, it ends up in your fat cell and you end up chubby with lumpy bits, or you don't like the way that you look. So if you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, and two parts of your metabolism slow down. So the first one is your base metabolic rate, which is how many calories your body needs to survive in a warm room. So what does my body need to stay alive for a 24-hour period? And then during the day when I'm doing stuff, which is your metabolic rate, wouldn't you like that to be fast? So that you want a V8 engine, not a 2-stroke or 4-cylinder engine. You want a fast, fuel-burning machine, and that is your muscle. So that everything you do, you burn calories faster because you've got more muscle. If you lose muscle, you lose your engine size. So you go from a jet engine to a V8 to a 6-cylinder to a 4-cylinder to a 2-stroke as you get older, if you let that happen. But I wouldn't let that happen. I'm just refuse. So if you want to stay healthy, fit, strong, lean, energetic, you have to keep your muscle. And that's the interesting thing about all the differences between men and women. It seems that men get that. They want to have strong muscles. They even want to have big muscles. Women seem to say, oh, I don't want to have big muscles. I don't even understand this one. I don't want to be strong. Which part of your body would you like to be weak? Do you want to have weak arms? Do you want to have weak legs? Do you want to have weak abdominals? Do you want to have weak lower back muscles? I don't want any of that. I want to be strong so that I can do all the things that I want to do, so that I have a fast metabolism, a fast base metabolic rate, and then I have a respiratory quotient that prefers to burn fat when I'm resting. So if I lose muscle, all of that changes. Now the other really interesting thing that a lot of people don't even consider is that muscle itself is an endocrine organ. It's a gland of the body that sends messages back to the brain, to the hypothalamus, to say, if I'm weak, I need to get stronger. Because your hormonal system, your endocrine system, is designed to keep you alive so that you've got a stack of energy so you can do the things that you want to do, and in particular to reproduce. Now obviously after you're past menopause, like I am as an old lady, the reproduction's not part of the equation anymore. But I want to make sure that those messages keep going back to my brain to say, this lady needs to be strong, she needs to be powerful, she needs to be doing all the things that she wants to do with energy, excitement, enthusiasm for life. I call them the 3 E's. So when you lift heavy, when you overload your muscles, when you sprint really hard, when your whole endocrine system fires up, the muscles send a message back to the brain to say, hey, we need to, for next time, if she sprints faster, if she kicks harder, if she punches harder, if she lifts heavier rocks, heavier logs, we have to be better. So that whole system works in a loop to say, send a message to the muscle to work, the muscle sends a message back to the brain to say, for next time we've got to be better. If you lose muscle, that doesn't happen. Now the other really interesting thing is a lot of people think when they get older, that you're going to be weak, which means you're getting more injuries, you're more likely to fall, you've got bad posture. Posture is controlled by your muscle. If your muscles waste away, then they've got no muscle to hold a little skeleton up. So you end up as a decrepit old woman. But if you've got strong muscles, you've got great posture. So your coat hanger for your clothes looks better. Doesn't matter what you spend on your clothes. If you've got terrible posture, your clothes are going to look terrible. So if you lose muscle, you have poor posture. Now, strong muscles pull on your bones, which keeps your bones strong. Now, osteoporosis is a bone thinning disease, which is horrible and debilitating and causes people to have the worst quality of life because you end up in a walking frame or a wheelchair. Yuck! But your immune system's built inside your bones. So if you lose your muscle, then your bones become weak, your immune system becomes weak, so you're more likely to be sick. Now, the other interesting thing though about those muscles, if you get injured, and I get injured all the time because I do a lot of stuff. For an old lady, I take a lot of risks and I put my body through a lot of pressure because I sprint and I jump and I punch and I lift heavy things in the garden. I move wheelbarrows of gravel and sand and rocks around. I lift heavy rocks, I lift heavy logs. So sometimes I drop a rock on my toe, or I lift something and move the wrong way with a big heavy log and I get injured. But the beautiful thing about that endocrine system, when the muscles are working effectively and sending a message back to your brain, if I've got an injured foot, the message goes back to my brain to say, if she's ever got to run away from the threat, we have to fix this foot really quickly. If I've got a sore hand or a sore shoulder, if I've got to fight an animal, the muscle in my shoulder or my leg or my feet or my fingers sends a message back to my brain to say, we've got to heal this injury fast, because if she's under threat, she won't be able to run away, she won't be able to fight. And that's why I love the endocrine system so much. I'm in love with my endocrine system. I love my hormones. I'm in control of my hormones, not the other way around. But that's all got to do with muscle. So if you are weak, everything wastes away. Your muscles waste away, your bones waste away, you can't be fit, so your heart and lung fitness wastes away, you get a slower metabolism, your brain rots away. Because when you can do things at 100% effort, so if I can fight and flight, so if I can fight the wild animal, if I can sprint away from the threat, after I've overcome the threat or the challenge, my brain fills up with dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor, endorphins, which are fantastic. The things that make me feel good help me recover quickly from anything that's going to threaten my ability to do it better next time. And the beautiful thing about endorphins is they're a pain-killing happy drug. So I want a happy, healthy brain, of course, and if I sprint and if I fight, my brain stays healthy. So my chance of Alzheimer's, dementia, depression, horrible, yucky brain diseases are either I'll never get them, or they'll be way, way, way down the track. I want to stay young and fit and healthy and lean and strong for the rest of my life. I feel like I'm about halfway through my life at 60. So all of that is controlled by how much muscle I have. The other interesting one is the Stay Young drug. The one that really keeps your body alive is adrenaline, epinephrine. They're the fight and flight neurotransmitters that if your life is under threat or you're under stress, your body produces those so that you can get away from the threat. Now, we don't live in a world much now where, well, yes, we're under stress, but to disperse stress, you have to fight and flight. And I can't fight and flight if I'm weak. And I want to pump adrenaline because that's the thing that keeps you alive. Have you ever had a full-on adrenaline pump for whatever reason, whether it's skydiving or bungee jumping or fighting in a ring or sprinting? If you overcome a challenge, your body produces epinephrine and adrenaline to help you overcome that challenge, and then you produce dopamine, which is the reward drug that makes you feel fantastic. So for me, it's not just maintaining my muscle, it's maintaining my muscle. I don't want to lose it. If I don't use it, I'll lose it. If I keep using it, I won't lose it. Yay! But I also want to pump adrenaline as often as I possibly can, because that's the Stay Young neurotransmitter. And I can't pump adrenaline, I can't fight and flight, and that only happens at 100% effort. So if I want to have adrenaline, epinephrine pumping through my body to keep me young, I have to be strong or so I can do everything at 100% effort. So if you lose muscle, everything deteriorates, everything wastes away. So when people say to me, Rowie, what's the number one thing I need to do to make sure that I can eat whatever I want to for the rest of my life, be lean, fit, strong, energetic, have great hair, skin and nails, have a healthy brain, be able to fit into my clothes, avoid depression, have great self-esteem and self-confidence, the number one thing is maintain your muscle. If you lose muscle, everything wastes away, your body wastes away. And the beautiful thing about maintaining your muscle, it can't be any more simple than this. People say, Rowie, how often should you exercise? To get puffed, to punch the bag, to sprint, soft sand, stairs, get really, really puffed at 100% effort. Multiple times throughout the day, I always ask the question, how often do you want to feel good? If you want to feel good all the time, then you should be sprinting, puffing all the time, as often as you possibly can. And as you know, my mantra is 4 puffs an hour, 4 puffs an hour. Every 15 minutes, get puffed for 10 seconds. But strength training is different because muscles, when you when you put them under a challenge, when you push them, when you take them to 100% effort in the phosphate system, they have to recover. So muscles will get micro tears in them when you overload them from a heavy workout, from a heavy load. So they get micro tears, they have to regenerate from the workout, recover from the workout, and then super compensate, which means get stronger. And the heavier you lift, the longer that super compensation process takes. So you don't have to lift heavy things every day, every second day, every third day, every fourth day. If you lift really heavy and if you're really strong, once a week is plenty. But how often, I don't know, because the only way you know that you're stronger is if you go into that workout. The next time you lift something heavy, whether it's a rock or a log or a box of bricks or a bag of books or a dumbbell, a barbell or a kettlebell, doesn't matter because your muscles are blind. The next time you lift something heavy, your brain should be wanting to do it. So your brain should be fully recovered, which is your central nervous system and the endocrine system. And then obviously you want to keep getting stronger. So if you go into the gym and you can't lift as heavy as you did last time, if you go out to pick up a log or a rock and you can't do it as heavy as you did last time, then you haven't super compensated from the last lift. So wait till you're fully recovered, go into that workout at 100% effort and desire and headspace to want to lift heavy, which is usually somewhere between 5 to 7 days, depending on how heavy you lift. So it's pretty easy. Get puffed, 10 seconds, phosphate system, high intense activity, fight and flight, as many times throughout the day as you want to feel good. That, of course, increases your metabolic rate so that you can burn up everything that you eat, which again means you can eat whatever you want to. You'll feel fantastic all the time. And when you maintain your muscle, or the only way to be able to do that is to maintain your muscle. So if you lose your muscle, everything rots away. If you want to live your life to the max, you've got to have muscle. Muscle max. Live your life to the max, keep your muscle. Live your life to the max, keep your muscle. Live your life to